Hi, I'm Reggie Peralta, a TV critic for FilmBook. Today I'll be reviewing Star Trek Discovery, Season 2, Episode 6, The Sounds of Thunder. If you read some of my previous reviews for FilmBook for Star Trek Discovery, you'll probably know that I'm pretty fond of the character Saru. And, with good reason. I think he's very much in the mold of like the non-human alien characters like Spock from the original series, Data from the Next Generation, and Odo from Deep Space Nine. And this episode, I feel it is very those parallels are very apparent, particularly with Odo, because in this episode, we get a lot of background information about the Kelpians' homeworld and their relationship with the Baul, who are who oppress them and have like a predator prey relationship with them. And so, Saru, who has recently been cured of the fear that the Kelpians are instinctually, they're genetically wired to, and he now is full of courage and is just able to take charge, do the things that things he would never do before, and just really stand up for his people. And it kind of, but at the initially, there's a lot of doubt on his part because the fear has guided him and the rest of the Kelpians. And in this aspect, it kind of reminded me of Odo when the story arc where he loses his powers, his shape-shifting powers, and he's just trapped in his regular form, and he's just kind of like trying to make sense of it, being a solid, and like coming to terms with not having his powers. And so the parallels are in that Saru is at the very beginning, he has a very beautiful voiceover monologue, where he's just talking about meaning, existence, and meaning. And toward the end, he says, "What is a Kelpian without fear?" Something along those lines. Something like, "What is a Kelpian without fear? I'm stumbling along in the dark, but I sense there's purpose somewhere, and I'm working my way towards it." And it's a sentiment that's been expressed before, undoubtedly more artfully by others, but it's not really expressed on, I would say, like on a regular television. Just it's not something heard very often, and definitely not as beautifully as Doug Jones delivers it, because Jones is if you've been if you've seen Shape of Water, then you undoubtedly know him as the fish man from that. And so, but here he shows he's more than just a man in a monster suit. On top of all of his other appearances in other films and shows. But this is like, he can wear the costumes, but he can also make it really, he could move you. And it's very much a Saru episode, and he carries it like nothing. It's very good too, because I feel like without Jason Isaacs as Captain Lorca to really add that edgy, interesting bad guy, it really needs Discovery really needs these kind of like interesting characters to anchor the show. And Saru really does it. He really, for me at least, I'm sure there are people who feel differently. As anybody who follows the series knows, it's very polarizing. And I get that. I understand a lot of the criticism. I feel like, and I do, like the uniforms look nothing like they would in the context of the original series, the events of which occur 10 years after Discovery. So it makes no sense how they go from those uniforms to that. Again, it's a little little Trekker nitpicky thing that we nerds care about, but it's important for us. It's very important. So yeah, I get that. It's annoying. And Captain Pike looks nothing like Pike from the original series. He looks even older than the Pike in the series, I think, at least if I remember him how he looks correctly in the cage. But like I said, it's annoying and stuff, but I think the story works for what it's worth. And I don't think you can really fault that. You can hold that against it. It comes down to aesthetics, obviously, taste, but I don't think it's the death knell for the episode per se. Returning to the parallels with the previous series in the franchise, the Baul, well, at least the one representative we see for them here, it's funny because initially I thought it was like he was like a member of the same species as Armis from the Next Generation, the gooey evil creature that kills Tasha Yar in the first season and just feeds off of anger and hate and stuff. At least I think that's what he does, but either way, he has a lot to do. He has something to do with anger and hatred, and so yeah, that was the vibe I got from this. The look, just the rising out of the black goo and the evil voice and stuff, and just the general malevolence. That's it made me think of Armis. I don't know if they're going to establish that later on that that is the same species as the Baul. Armis is a member of the Baul or whatever. If there are any ramifications for this for the franchise, the series as a whole, and but so that's another of the parallels. Another interesting one was well the general plot, the idea that these people, well in this case the Kelpians, have been led to believe that their way of life is, I guess, divinely ordained, for lack of a better word. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it'll always be. And then Starfleet comes along and they come in and show, oh hey, that's nope, that's not it. This is all made up. It's yeah, it's these people are pulling a fast one on you. That's very very Roddenberry-esque, I would say. Very that very skeptical, critical of religion, kind of story I would expect from Star Trek and from like the original series. And it's funny because I don't know if it's because religion is not as potent as it used to be, like at least it was in the 60s when the original series came out, but it's up front, like what it's saying, the commentary is right there, it's in your face or whatever, but it doesn't feel like as shocking, I guess, as maybe may have felt, the original series may have felt in the 60s. And I mean, maybe that says more about the time we live in than it does about the show, but I think it's interesting and definitely worth commenting on. Oh, another part of the episode I really appreciated was, well, going back to Doug Jones's performance, was when Saru tries to transport himself to the Baul stronghold, and he takes control of the transporter, and Burnham follows him and orders him to get off the transporter and pulls the gun on him, and he just turns around and says, "Or what?" And again, it's a simple line, but it's on the delivery, and he just really nails it, in the context of this character, like this very this character who's been meek and passive all his life, and now all of a sudden he just doesn't care, he doesn't give a hoot what anybody's going to do, and it's just a really powerful, gratifying moment, and you really feel it in the way he says it, and it sticks with you. And regarding like the look of the episode, I mean, Discovery, I feel it's like here it's very consistent with the rest of Discovery, how it's looked up until now. It looks very polished, a lot of computer animation and stuff, but it's probably the best animation you get like on a TV show today. I mean, and the cinematography looks great. It looks almost like a movie. I mean, obviously it's not like a film, but it reminds me a lot of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. It's it's a far cry from the videotape of like the Next Generation and DS9, and yeah, so it looks like serious stuff, and I mean, yeah, it's nice to look at. Yeah, what else can you say? Thank you for listening to my review of Star Trek Discovery, Season 2, Episode 6, The Sounds of Thunder. You can find more of my TV show reviews on this YouTube channel and on FilmBook. That's film-book.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Reggie the Writer. If you would like to support this channel and future reviews, consider becoming one of our patrons on Patreon. There's a link to our Patreon page below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to FilmBook Review and make sure to click the notification bell icon and select Send Me All Notifications for this channel so that you never miss a new review. As always, I appreciate all of your comments and would like to know how you reacted to this episode. Tell me below in the comment section. Until the next time, thank you, and I'll see you then.